part 2 of an ongoing series. Jose Francisco Gordiano Guzmán Toscano, often referred to as Gordiano Guzmán, remains a somewhat obscure figure in the grand narrative of Mexican independence. He was born in Tamazula, Jalisco, Mexico, in the latter half of the 18th century. Although the details about his early life are scarce, it unfortunately obscures his path to becoming a key military leader in the Insurgent Army. Nonetheless, we know he eventually joined the fight for Mexico's independence from Spanish rule. This struggle erupted in 1810, ignited by the fiery calls of Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla, Ignacio Allende, and other leaders of the independence movement. Gordiano Guzmán, like many of his countrymen, answered the call to arms. He joined the ranks of the Insurgent Army, driven by a potent blend of patriotism and a desire for social justice. His natural leadership qualities quickly surfaced on the battlefield. He gained the respect of his fellow soldiers and the attention of higher-ranking officers. This recognition would eventually lead him to a pivotal role in one of the early defining battles of the Mexican War of Independence, the Battle of Calderon Bridge. The Battle of Calderon Bridge, fought on January 17, 1811, marked a critical juncture in the early stages of Mexico's fight for independence. The victory at Calderon Bridge, however short-lived, provided the nascent independence movement with a surge of momentum, proving that the Spanish Royalist forces were not invincible. The road to Calderon Bridge was paved with both insurgent victories and defeats. The rebellion, ignited by Hidalgo's Grito de Dolores in Dolores, Guanajuato, on September 1810 had swept through central Mexico, gathering support from the marginalized and oppressed. The capture of Guanajuato, a key city and symbol of Spanish wealth, further fueled the flames of rebellion. Even so, this initial wave of success was soon met with organized resistance from the Royalist forces loyal to the Spanish crown. The opposing sides in the conflict represented two vastly different visions for the future of Mexico. The Royalist army, comprised of Spanish troops and Loyalist militias, fought to preserve the existing social order. This order benefited the Spanish elite and maintained the system of colonial rule that had been in place for centuries. On the other side stood the Insurgent Army. This force was a diverse mix of farmers, miners, indigenous people, and even some disillusioned members of the Creole elite. They were united by a desire for self-governance and an end to Spanish exploitation. Despite their lack of formal military training and inferior weaponry, the insurgents were fueled by a potent combination of revolutionary fervor and the hope for a more just and equitable society. The day of decision unfolds. The Battle of Calderon Bridge commenced with the Royalist forces, commanded by General Felix Maria Calleja del Rey, holding a strong defensive position near the Lerma River. The bridge itself was a crucial choke point, and Calleja strategically positioned his artillery to command the surrounding plains. The Insurgent Army, vastly outnumbering the Royalists, launched a series of attacks throughout the day. Despite their numerical superiority, they struggled to break through the disciplined lines of the Royalist defenses and the devastating fire from their cannons. The insurgents, armed with a mixture of captured weapons, improvised explosives, and sheer determination, fought with tenacity. Still and all, the tide of the battle seemed to be turning in favor of the better equipped and organized Royalist army. Gordiano Guzmán's decisive action. As the battle raged, a fire erupted in the Royalist ammunition supply train. Whether this fire was caused by a stray shot or a deliberate act of sabotage remains a subject of debate. In spite of this, it was Gordiano Guzmán who recognized the opportunity this presented. Leading a cavalry charge, he exploited the ensuing chaos and confusion within the Royalist ranks. This decisive action turned the tide of the battle. The Royalist lines, already under pressure from the relentless insurgent attacks, crumbled. Panic spread through their ranks, and what began as a tactical retreat quickly devolved into a disorganized rout.